Welcome to part 3. When we left off last, we had 2 pieces of stock primed and ready for the CNC. By the end of the video today, we will glue them together and get that number down to 1. That seems like a fairly simple step that shouldn't warrant its own video, but
this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it's not just, it might not be just such a simple, you know?
So I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. If you remember, here's where we're ultimately trying to get. Separated out, we have the top and the base. Before we glue the top on, we have a bit of work to do. We need to create wiring channels, cut out the pickup, control, and output jack cavities, and machine the arm carve. But before we do any of that, we need to lock down our stock to the wasteboard and establish a repeatable 0 point so that every operation references the exact same point in space. The center of this left hole becomes that point going forward. This is paramount for accuracy, especially when we go to flip the piece over for the backside carves. As I alluded to in the last segment, this will be accomplished with 2 3/8 inch steel dowel pins. I find a suitable spot on the wasteboard, zero the machine, and run a simple drilling program which makes 2 holes on the wasteboard 21 inches apart. I then do the same drilling operation, this time on the center lines of the body blank and the drop top. Now the pins can be installed in the wasteboard and both pieces of stock to perfectly align them. At long last, we are ready to start carving the body. Technically, only the wiring channels and output jack need to be machined right now. The rest could be done from the back later on, but would require the use of a 2-inch bit. I have one, but it stinks, and I only use it when absolutely necessary. So we'll machine the top half of the pickup and control cavities now with a quality bit that I trust. Here's what that looks like when complete. Okay, that was the easy part. So, as you know, I want to have my fancy arm carve and also have the entire top be figured wood. If we glue the top on flat right now and then cut the shape out, we would quickly blow through it. So,
I got to thinking.
I'm proposing we machine the final shape of the arm carve into the base, then find a way to manipulate the 1/4 inch top to conform to it.
Huh?
That's a great plan, Walter. That's f***ing ingenious, if I understand it correctly. It's a Swiss f***ing watch.
It's right, dude.
So let's start with that. First, a roughing operation with a 1/4 inch end mill. Then the finishing pass with a round nose bit, making tiny 32nd inch stepovers for great finish quality. With the arm carve now complete, we can turn our attention to forming the top. First, I quickly cut out the rough body shape on the bandsaw. Next, I'm going to make some relief cuts on the back side of the top in the areas I need to be more flexible. The beautiful figure of the wood is really on display here. Phase 2, a clamping call. To help make the top take the shape we want, I machine the exact negative of the arm carve into a 2x6. The call will provide even clamping pressure and act as a backing to the wood to help prevent it from blowing out or cracking. Third and final phase, steam bending. I'll be honest, I completely winged this. I cut a slot into an Amazon box, jammed the top into it, and let her rip for half an hour. And somehow it worked perfectly. It got the shape 90% of the way there before clamping. Using the dowel pins, I mated the top and base, fitted the call, and applied several clamps to let the assembly dry overnight. And the following day, I broke it down. Oh, by the way, the previous video of me clamping it all up, yeah, just this video in reverse. For real though, since the very inception of this project, I had put a lot of thought into how to attack this. It was a problem that presented itself early on and had been hanging over my head as a very possible showstopper. I'll admit I was really pleased with how well it worked. Not time for high fives just yet, however. It wasn't perfect. There were still a few areas at the edges that didn't get completely conformed. Carving out a bit more from the blank would make for an even better glue up. A little light work with the jigsaw, and I now had all the clamping access I would need. Finally, we are ready to glue. No matter how much prep I do, I always feel like these moments are a chaotic race against the clock. Glue sets up quickly. To help combat that, I used one with a bit more working time. Also, however many clamps I have is always a few short of how many I need. Fast forward a day, and it's time to see how we did. After what feels like a lot of farting around up to this point, the guitar blank is finally in one piece. Although at the moment it is, in every sense of the word, rough, we're a giant leap closer to revealing its true form. Too bad I used the wrong glue.
You f***ed it up! You f***ed it up!
Ugh, whatever.
Ah, f it, dude. Let's go bowling.